Hello and welcome back to the Fantasy Playmakers. What's up, guys? For today's video, I'm going to be doing my last set of fantasy football sleepers. So in the past 3 days, I've gone through running back, wide receiver, and quarterback sleepers. And so today, I'm going to be talking about 3 tight end sleepers. So 3 guys that are going in the later rounds that I think are going to be solid pickups for your team. You know, the tight end position is one where you can wait till the last couple rounds of the draft and take a shot on a player, if you don't get one of those top dogs. And so this video is going to be very useful for drafts. And let's just get right into it. The first tight end sleeper I'm going to talk about is Irv Smith Jr. He's currently being drafted as the tight end 13, which is a 12th round pick. So he's definitely one of these guys that you're going to be able to pick up in the last few rounds. And he's put together solid rookie and sophomore seasons. He had similar stat lines in 2019 and in 2020. So in 2019, in 16 games, he caught 36 passes for 311 receiving yards and then 2 receiving touchdowns. Then in 2020, in 13 games, caught 30 passes for 365 receiving yards and 5 receiving touchdowns. So, these are decent seasons, for an NFL tight end, but they're not super great for fantasy. But he has some new upside this season with Kyle Rudolph gone. He signed with the Giants. And so now Irv Smith has the opportunity to take over the role as the tight end 1 of this Vikings offense. And he showed some promising production when Rudolph was out of the lineup. Last season, Rudolph only played in 12 games. He missed the last 4 games of the season. And in that 4-game stretch, Smith totaled 15 receptions for 183 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. And those numbers may not jump out at you as some sort of top tier production, but he's going to have a lot of upside coming from his potential red zone role. And that's really what you're going to be looking for in some of these late round tight ends. There's only going to be a few tight ends out there this season that are going to get a ton of volume and targets. Travis Kelce, Darren Waller, George Kittle, TJ Hawkinson, potentially Pitts or Andrews. A lot of these other guys aren't going to be getting that kind of volume, and you're kind of going to have to rely on touchdown upside, and that's where I think Irv Smith can bring this season. He took over that red zone role towards the end of the season. That's what Kyle Rudolph had, and you saw those 3 touchdowns in the last 4 games, and he's also been impressing in the red zone during training camp, so this is his opportunity to take a big leap and finish this season as a mid to low end tight end 1 and hopefully outperform that ADP of tight end 13. The next tight end sleeper I have is Gerald Everett. He left the Rams in free agency and signed with the Seattle Seahawks. And with the Seahawks, he is going to have the opportunity to be the number 1 tight end of this offense. With the Rams, he was splitting time with Tyler Higbee. He also had some top-tier weapons like Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods with Jared Goff at quarterback. So that was just too many mouths to feed on an offense that was not a high-volume passing attack. But now he's going to this high-scoring, super high-volume passing offense of the Seahawks. And what really makes me optimistic about Gerald Everett's potential this season is his athleticism. If you're looking at his combine numbers, he was in the 89th percentile of the 40-yard dash, 75th percentile in speed score, 94th in burst score, 81st in agility, and 87th in catch radius. And he's already been impressing at the Seahawks training camp. People have noticed his chemistry with Russell Wilson. Apparently, they've been practicing throughout the offseason, even before training camp, meeting up and throwing at local fields. And then his athletic ability has also been showing. And right now he's being drafted as the tight end 15 in the 13th round. And I think if he puts it all together and everything really clicks in this offense, he could easily finish much higher than this ADP. The third and final tight end sleeper I have is Zach Ertz. I've mentioned him in a lot of videos, but I just think he's going to be a great value this season. Right now, he's being drafted as the tight end 26, so that is a tight end 3, and you're just not going to find anyone in this range with the upside that Ertz has. I mean, around this ADP, you have guys like Dawson Knox, Dalton Schultz, Dan Arnold. I mean, these are guys who do not have a lot of upside, not even comparable to Zach Ertz, and his track record at the tight end position is just top tier. If you're looking at his finishes on a points per game basis in the last few seasons, number 3 in points per game in 2017, number 2 in 2018, and then number 5 in 2019. So just a consistent high-end tight end 1 finisher, and there is no denying that 2020 was an absolute nightmare for Zach Ertz owners. You drafted him as probably a top 3 tight end, and he completely busted. There's no denying that, but I'm not willing to say he is totally washed up yet. The Eagles were a mess last season. You saw Carson Wentz just deteriorating on the field, and Zach Ertz was also playing through injuries, which definitely did not help his performance. And this was a drop-off that kind of came out of nowhere, and that's why I'm not willing to say that he has no juice left in the tank, because in 2019, that was his season with the second most receiving yards and second most receptions in his career. So I'm not willing to buy into the idea that he had one of his best seasons ever and then now is just a total bum and not a worthy fantasy play. Right now, there's definitely still some uncertainty with his landing spot. He's reported to training camp, but I think the odds are still in favor of him starting the season on a different team. If he does stay with the Eagles, it's not going to be great for his value because he's likely going to be playing behind Dallas Goedert. But if he gets moved to the right fit, you could be potentially drafting a top 5 tight end at the very end of drafts. So he's a player that I've been picking up in the last round of, redraft leagues. In best ball, you can get him as your tight end 3, in the last 2 rounds of drafts. And so Zach Ertz is probably my favorite tight end sleeper this season. All right, so those are 3 of my favorite tight end sleepers for the 2021 fantasy football season. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Do you agree with these guys as solid late round targets? Do you have some other guys in mind? Let me know down below. I'll be responding to everyone who comments. Also, if you enjoyed the content, please just leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Really helps support me, and I would appreciate it a lot. And if you haven't checked out my other sleeper videos the last 3 days, look for the running back, wide receiver, and quarterback videos. Go check those out. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for stopping by, watching, and listening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.